Oh my God. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Catherine, and this is Off Topic with Catherine, where stories spill over, lessons get learned, life gets messy, just like it should. There is construction work happening right outside my house. I can't do anything about the noise, so if you guys hear all this rumbling, I don't know, I think I need to move. But hopefully it'll end like in the next couple of weeks. But welcome to my show today. Just to let everybody know, I do tape once a week, and every episode goes out on Sundays. So if you're interested, you can check it out every Sunday. And before I start, sinigamas, Greek coffee. And a little update on my dog Apollo. I had mentioned last time he went to the vets. He did not behave the way he was supposed to behave, so they had to drug him quite a bit just so they can knock him out. And he's here today, so if you see him just kind of hanging out, I love that. I hope you enjoy him as well. Now, today I'm going to share my experience with everybody leading up to my Greek wedding way back in 1989. 37 years ago, I think. I didn't do my math this morning, so it's roughly around that long. And thinking back to all the preparation, somebody asked me not long ago, who proposed? I said, what? Well, who proposed? Was it you? Was it your future husband? I said, are you kidding me? Greeks, 1989, at least for us, there was no proposing. My brother had gotten married a year before, and it was just understood, hey, he's Greek, ticked everything off, Greek, parents Greek, got a job, parents have a duplex, hopefully we'll move in there or somewhere next to his parents or my parents or with the parents. And it was just pretty much set. It was as easy and as simple as that. No big stress about living situation. No. Furniture? No. We just had to go and buy the flashiest, tackiest that was around during those days. And then my parents were so happy to be marrying off their daughter, not their daughter getting married, because we didn't use that term. When my parents were telling everybody that their daughter was going to get married, no, that's what I was saying. They were saying, we are marrying off our daughter, which drove me bananas. And I would say to them, can you stop? Please stop telling people you are marrying me off. You are not marrying me off. I am getting married. But they continued to describe it that way. But I'll let you guys, I'll tell you guys why I'm so happy that they did that. I'll tell you guys towards the end of the episode. We had a photographer. That went great. This Greek, very, very well-known photographer. That was all set. We got our invitations together. That was all set. My parents didn't get involved with that. We went to the hall. Of course, my dad came to the hall because we had to make sure that the meal was going to be according to what traditionally is expected at a Greek wedding back then. The wedding dress, yes, my sister-in-law and I, we were so happy. Off we went, wedding dress shopping. Her, the expert, because she had gotten married a year before. We walk into this bridal store, and I see the perfect dress. Let me describe it to you. I might find a picture. If I find a picture, I will show you guys. Now, let's start off with the sleeves. Maybe 12 by 12. You know the Goodyear blimp? Yeah. So each sleeve was like a miniature Goodyear blimp. And I didn't think they were puffy enough. So I did everything to puff them up even more. And my headpiece made the queen's crown seem invisible. My dress was a mermaid dress. It was so tight with a long train. And I felt beautiful. I thought this was the most beautiful dress back then. I look at the pictures now. Whatever. Anyways, so that's a part of the preparation. And it went not well. It went smooth. And then we came down to the seating arrangements, the guests. So we all sat down around a nice little table, my family and I, because we each had our own families that we were taking care of, because we knew our families more than we knew everybody. And my parents started telling me that, from our side, there'd be like about, 120, 130 people. And I thought, well, how's that even possible? I'm inviting some close friends, and we didn't have that many relatives here. And how did we come up to that number? Oh, they said, well, we're inviting so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. And I said, well, who is so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so? Because I've never heard of these people. They said, oh, no, we have to invite these people. I said, okay, but who are they? Well, that's the guy from my village. I said, well, where does he live? I don't know. He lives like in another city, but he's going to come down for the wedding. I said, you're going to invite someone from another city that I have never met and you haven't seen in like 30 years. Oh, yeah, he's going to come to the wedding. Okay. We're going to invite this person. And how about these other 30 people? Oh, well, they are the people that we traveled on the ship with when we came here in 1959. I said, when was the last time they came? You saw them. Oh, well, when we traveled on the ship, 1959. This was 1989. Oh, yeah, no, but, we chat, we hear about each other. Yeah, no, we have to invite them. I said, you got to be kidding. No, we have to invite them, and they're going to come. And how about these other 30 people? Oh, yeah, these people, well, these are part of the community. So they're going to find out from the other people that you're getting married, and if we don't invite them, then they're going to get offended. So we have to invite them. This was in addition to our family, our immediate family, which, like I said, there weren't that many. And I said, okay, well, whatever. So how are we going to seat these people? Where are we going to seat them? Well, we cannot put this guy with this guy, or this family with that family, or that family with that family. I said, this is like ridiculous. This is too complicated. I can't do this. No, we can't. I said, well, why can't we? Well, because this is a guy that took that guy's goat from the village when they were walking down the dirt road, and this other guy went and picked up the olives from the other guy's olive trees, so they haven't been speaking, and the other guy let the other guy's house in the village just fall apart, and he wasn't supposed to, because he was supposed to be taking care of it, so we couldn't put them together. So so this came up as the most, I don't know, it was just like a mathematical Einstein equation. I couldn't believe that I was sitting here having to deal with this, but we did. And we just managed to seat everybody where they would stay civil. So My parents were calling up these people that they knew personally, or they kind of knew personally, or they knew from they knew, because obviously we didn't have any addresses, so we couldn't send out invitations. And I would hear them say on the phone, we are marrying off our daughter. It drove me crazy, like I said earlier. I said, please stop it. No, we are marrying off our daughter. I later realized that phrase was not because they were getting rid of me. They wanted to get rid of me. It's because they felt such pride. They were so proud, and in their minds, that they were able to offer their daughter a wedding and sort of create a life for her, at least initially, that they felt would be stable and safe, and that they didn't have to worry, and she didn't have to worry. The reason my parents felt like this, and I know now why, is because when they got married, this was my parents' situation. I'm not saying this is the case for all the Greeks way back then, but this was specific to my parents. My dad didn't have a wedding suit, and he would always tell me that they had absolutely no money, so his actual suit was made out of a tissue, some kind of tissue fabric. I don't know what it was, but he says that it actually ripped. So if you moved a little bit this way or that way, it would rip. And their wedding bands were made out of aluminum, so they didn't even have proper wedding bands, and they had no guests because it was an arranged marriage. So they got married, and then I don't even have a picture of my parents' wedding. So they got married, they got on the ship, and off they came. And they never had this experience of being part of such a beautiful moment, that to them, to offer that to me and be able to experience that with me, and also with my brother, of course, was so important for them. I understand that very well now, and it's sometimes it just brings tears to my eyes, but it just fills up my heart. Now, going back to their guests, let me tell you something about their guests. Oh, something happened to my computer. The guests that my parents were invited were not just people from their village. It was the people that they made this journey with, whether it was back in Greece or when they came here to Canada, and they traveled across the ocean. They were the folks that they built a life together with from scratch, and they were alongside my parents through their entire journey. These were the people who helped each other create homes, and gave each other a sense of belonging, because of course they didn't have that when they left their mother tongue. Now, these were also the people that were there before anything was established, and everything was uncertain for all of them. So what I finally did realize was that all these people were not about my parents. They were about my parents and myself. That's what made it beautiful, because this was a story about family. This was a wedding about staying together and creating that dream and that moment as a family. Yes, it was my wedding, but I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. And looking back, I am so grateful. I'm so grateful that my parents took such interest and played such a big part And even though I had to introduce myself to many of these guests because they didn't know who I was, and they actually had to introduce themselves to me because I've never met them. I don't know. I would see this look in their eyes, this I don't know, happiness from my parents and also the guests. So this is your daughter. We're so happy to meet her, and congratulations to you and to your parents, because that's something that they themselves never felt. So yeah, maybe it kind of sounds a little bit, is it really about them? No, it isn't about them. It's about me, and that I was their daughter, and they were really grateful that I was there and offering this moment to them. So this is exactly how I feel today about what I experienced back then, and I'm so happy to have been able to share this with you. Now, today's coffee wisdom is this: love is sometimes obvious and loud, and sometimes it's simply tending a little basil plant, because preparing for my wedding, my mom had planted the most beautiful basil garden in her front yard, and she would go every single day and made sure that it was all perfect. And I would say, why are you wasting your time? And she would say, I'm not wasting my time. I just want it to be perfect for your wedding day. And that's the way she was able to show her love to me. Now, thank you for joining me today and listening to my story about how I prepared for my Greek wedding and the actual experience that is so, so meaningful to me. And next time when you join me, we will talk about something very interesting that I never even thought actually, is, I don't know, being judgmental, judging. And I can honestly say I was the queen of that until things happen. And those things that happened were probably the best things that could have happened to me, to make me realize that that's not the way we should be. Thanks again. And just remember, life's a little better when you go off topic.